Hello, I'm Madeline Palmer, and today I'll be showing you Medela's hospital-grade pump called the Symphony. The pumping supplies that will be brought to your room are yours to take home at discharge. These include the initiation kit as well as cleaning and storage supplies. The first step of assembly is to wash your hands. Clean hands are important when handling any piece of pumping supplies. When assembling, begin with attaching the breast flange to the connector piece. The initiation kit includes 2 sizes of breast flanges. Our lactation staff or nurses will help size you for a proper fit. A colostrum collector may be used for the first few days after delivery. Colostrum is made in the 3rd trimester and is very thick and concentrated, unlike regular breast milk. It is full of antibodies and things your baby needs, but because it is so thick, it cannot easily pass through the white rubber membrane. The colostrum collector is used to gather every single precious drop. You can stop using the colostrum collector once you begin pumping over 6 mL. The colostrum collector is placed between the breast flange and the connector piece, smiley face up. Using a colostrum collector does not change any other portion of assembly. Medela has a detailed animation on how to connect and use the colostrum collector, which can be viewed in the description box below. Next, we are going to connect the yellow valve piece to the connector piece. The small white rubber membrane that is attached to the valve is a very important piece. Be sure not to lose it. This membrane should be firmly placed flat against the yellow valve and not rolling upward. Once the yellow valve and rubber membrane are secure, the bottles can be attached. If the pump is not working properly, ensure that the bottles are screwed in tightly and the rubber membrane is in place. To connect to the pump, first open the lid. Then, position the membrane caps on the pump, making sure that the tubing is positioned correctly so that the lid will firmly close. On the face of the pump, you will find a circular dial. To the left of this dial is the power button. Press once to turn the pump on. To the right of the dial, you will see the drip button. Push it within 10 seconds to start the specialized initiation setting. The specialized initiation setting is important when pumping the first 5 to 6 days, as it mimics an infant's natural suck pattern. The middle dial controls the strength of the suction. When pumping, the strength should be firm but not painful. Increasing the suction will not produce more milk, so keep it comfortable every time you pump. The pump will beep at you and turn off when it's done after 15 minutes. It is very important to be pumping a minimum of 8 times a day, preferably 10 times a day, even if you don't get a single drop out. If there isn't enough breast stimulation in the early days after birth, mom's body won't know that there's a baby to make milk for. It takes time for milk supply to come in. Trust your body and don't get discouraged. Remember that when a baby is first born, their stomach's only the size of a cherry. Press your call light and staff will come collect any milk you produce and send it to the NICU for your baby. Or, if you're visiting your baby soon, you can give it to your baby's nurse when you visit. Even just a tiny drop is liquid gold, and it's important that we send anything that you collect to your baby. A pump will also be available for you in your baby's NICU room. We encourage you to bring your kit with you and pump while visiting your baby. Your baby's nurse will provide you with labels for your milk. Please write the date and time on the label so we ensure that we are using your oldest milk first. Breast milk should always be correctly stored and labeled. Here are some guidelines to follow. The CDC recommends that freshly expressed milk is good for up to 4 hours on the countertop, 4 days in the refrigerator, or within 6 months in the freezer. Thawed or previously frozen milk is good for 1 to 2 hours on the countertop, 1 day in the refrigerator, and never refrozen. Leftover from a feeding, where the baby did not finish the bottle, is good to use within 2 hours after the baby finished feeding. Our neonatologists recommend following the 4-4-4 rule when your baby is still in the NICU. That is, 4 hours at room temperature, 4 days in the refrigerator, and up to 4 months in the freezer. Every part of the breast pump that has touched your breast or milk should be thoroughly cleaned after each use, including the breast shields, breast milk bottles, bottle lids, valves, membranes, and connectors. This helps you avoid dry breast milk residue and prevents the growth of bacteria. Make sure to wash all of your pump parts and label the milk directly after pumping so that the parts will be completely dry and ready for next use. Do not clean the tubing. We want to keep liquid out of the tubing to avoid growing mold. If you see condensation in the tubing, you can run the pump off of your breast for a few minutes to get the water out. This often happens if the pump parts are not completely dry before hooking up to the machine. Doppel Baby's bottle and dish soap should be used when washing your pump as it does not leave residue. Take apart all of the pieces and rinse them in a designated wash bin with warm soapy water for 5 minutes. Then rinse off the soap. Once the pieces have been rinsed, remove all parts and place them on a clean surface or towel and allow them to air dry. While your breast pump and its parts should be washed after each use, you don't have to sanitize as often. We recommend sanitizing your parts and accessories once a day after they have been washed. Your kit includes a quick clean micro-steam sanitizing bag that disinfects your breast flanges, accessories, bottles, nipples, and pacifiers. This process takes about 3 minutes in your microwave. To use the micro-steam bag, clean your kit as normal, then place disassembled parts in the bag with 60 ml of water. Make sure that the bag is upright and can turn freely in the microwave. Heat the bag for 3 minutes. Once finished, carefully remove the warm bag from the microwave. Hot water and steam may collect inside the bag and could burn you. Remove the hot water from the bag by pouring it out through the pouring spout, then carefully open the bag. Remove all parts from the bag and allow the parts to air dry on a clean, dry towel. This bag can be used a total of 20 times and should be marked after each use on the space provided. In the first few weeks postpartum, it is important to have a hospital-grade pump to promote milk supply if the baby is separated from you or if the baby is not yet effectively feeding at the breast. If you have a manual pump, a hands-free pump that is not hospital-grade, or if you don't have a pump ready for you to use when you get home from the hospital, please talk to our lactation consultants to ensure you are going home with a hospital-grade pump. They can help guide you in the rental process if needed. If you will be taking the Symphony home with you, there are further steps you need to know regarding the pump setting features. The initiate setting is used when you are first establishing your milk supply, but once your milk comes in, which is noted by 3 pumpings of 20 milliliters or more, or on day 6 after delivery, you should switch to the maintenance setting. You can use this setting by simply turning the pump on and setting your suction strength. The maintain setting is used to optimize milk supply after your milk comes in. This setting includes a fast-paced letdown phase for 2 minutes, then the expression phase where you will feel a slight, rhythmic, slower suction that will continue until you turn the pump off. Our lactation consultants suggest pumping for 15 minutes. Thank you for watching this tutorial. Congratulations on your new baby.